Hello and welcome to On the Move. I'm your host, JoAnna Ward, and we're going to start off with some fabulous fitness facts for you today. Today I have a special guest who's going to show us how to use some unique exercise equipment. You probably don't have it at home, but he's going to tell us where to get it. I would like to welcome everyone, Mr. Sheldon McGee. Come on up, Sheldon. Thank you so much for joining us on the move.
Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name is Sheldon McGee, and I'm originally from California. Run a company out of South Fayetteville, KMK Core Concepts, and I've been training young athletes, college athletes, and group classes. You know, anybody that wants to train and to get better and get better performance and just better health, I work on that. So. And
so you're a man that knows how to balance weights. You've been married, what, 20 plus years?
Yes, I have.
And you have two beautiful children.
Actually, I have three children. Three children. One's not a child anymore. She's 19, okay. So.
Yeah. So and they're in age group. They have a wide age group?
Yes, from 8 to 19.
Okay. We're going to be hearing more about Sheldon, who he is, what he does a little bit later. But right now, we're going to get you guys involved in this fitness routine. So tell us what we're getting ready to do, Sheldon.
What we're going to work with today is a tool called the MACE.
Okay, and that's M-A-S-E.
M-A-C-E.
M-A-C-E, like the mace you spray in your face.
Yeah, most people think of it as a medieval weapon. I mean, and that's what it originated from, was in India and the Vikings, and everybody used to train with this tool because that's one of the tools they used in battle. But it's actually one of the best tools I've found for a quick, easy, functional workout. One tool, full body, and it works everything, every muscle group you have, plus your core, you know, and from beginner to advanced. You have moves for every stage that you are in fitness.
Perfect.
So.
You guys ready? You probably don't have one of these. If they don't have one of these at home, what is a similar item they can do to kind of do what we're doing too and kind of participate from home?
Well, if anything, even if you have a small bar with a weight, just put a weight on one side, especially, but it would have to lock. Okay. So a lock jaw, collar, or anything like that.
Could I use a screw? What is this thing called? The top on the bottom, a wrench. You know, thing with the big head on the top?
Anything that's basically offset loading. Yeah, a bat, anything, especially if you have a bat with some the donuts that go on it, you know, you see them swinging that in the major leagues. Right. A little more weight resistance, and that's the whole point is you want weight on one end because it's offset loading, which nobody's body is symmetrical in strength, but this what works that. Makes you work both sides of your body equally, but on their own. To strengthen each side. So
do you guys have your WATC weight instrument that you're going to use? If you don't, we're getting ready to start. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited. I've never used one of these, and I've been doing this about 20 years. All right, Sheldon. So show us what we're doing. So Sheldon, I don't do guns. So after learning how to use this, can I use this as a weapon?
That's what it was originated for. So you know, once you learn how to use it and manipulate it, I mean. I mean, you have to close quarters battle.
Hand-to-hand combat, right?
Yes, and the most important thing is these are not that heavy. This is 10 pounds. This is 15 pounds. I have 20 and 25, and some of them go up to a lot more. But the most important thing is you don't need heavy weights to get stronger and to get a functional workout, and that's for me. I do a lot of Olympic lifts, and I do lift heavily, but you know, I love to go out to the park or I go out in my backyard with one of these, and just with one, I'll do a full body workout in 20 minutes at the most.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, that's what we need. We need things that are simple, sensible, and sustainable. Quick, we can get it in, and it's fun. You know, diversified workout. And
functional. That's the big thing is functional. Your body moves in certain ways, and you want to keep it moving that way throughout your life. You want your joints to be able to, you want to be flexible. You manipulate your joints where you keep them healthy, and things like this is more importantly what does that. And especially for me, it's a strong core. That's what's important to me because that's your foundation of your body. You know, everybody thinks of core as their abs, but core is this whole central area right here, and that's where all your strength and all your movement comes from, is your core.
Awesome.
So the biggest thing to remember is the further you are from the weight, the harder it's going to be.
Okay, let me bring mine close.
So you can there's knurling on these, which is for your grip. You can feel that. So I mean, you can be here or you can be here. And once you get here, you can feel that movement and stuff, and that's where the control comes in. One of the first exercises I do, I always like to warm up for my full body and my legs. And this is actually called the barbarian squat.
Barbarian squat.
I hold it here. I go down into my squat. As I come up, I go over my head, and then.
Oh, that's interesting.
So you're actually doing a pullover.
Yeah.
Into your squat.
I like it. This is interesting.
And you have to maintain that
you have to,
strong core, strong grip.
Right.
Each time you do it.
Yeah.
So I always come down into my full squat, come up, and I try and keep it so it doesn't touch me. Because the whole point is controlling it with your body.
Okay.
And that's what I always like to warm up with.
Okay.
Is the barbarian squat. I'll do 10, 15 of those. And then I like to work my way up.
Okay.
So the next move I do is called the grave digger.
Grave digger.
So one hand at the end, one hand here. And as I do it, it's almost like a dig, turn.
Oh.
Dig, turn.
Okay.
And you should really feel this in your obliques. And as you get going,
I gotta scoop it in the dirt. Scoop it up.
Scoop it, throw it over your shoulder.
Scoop and toss. Scoop and toss.
And don't forget, switch sides.
Switch sides. Okay, we're gonna scoop and toss.
And this is where it's important because you might be easy one side, hard the other.
Right.
Same thing.
Scoop and toss. Keep the technique. Scoop and toss. Scoop and toss. So I can use a shovel maybe?
Yeah, you can use a shovel, a little weight on it.
A little garden hoe. Because a lot of people use gardening as an exercise. And I'm gonna scoop and boom.
And toss and get
it's
that nice.
It's engaging all those muscles.
Yes. If you realize you're engaging as you bend, you're engaging through your legs,
and
coming up all through your obliques and core, all the way over to your shoulder.
Perfect.
Now, just like you would with regular weight. Now this is where it kind of gets fun because this is form is everything.
Okay.
Let's say overhead press. Overhead press.
Okay.
You take the weight here. Always your off hand at the end. This hand can move, but you got to remember the further away you are from the weight, the harder it is.
Right.
Now here, see how one arm wants to stick out. You got to bring that tight.
Right.
Press up.
And keep it balanced because I feel it trying to go that way, so I have to use this right arm.
Yes.
To keep
so this arm is actually pulling while this arm's pushing.
Got it. And how many of these do you recommend to do with your shovel or?
I always say depends where you start. I would start, like for me, I start 10 repetitions.
Okay.
10 squats, 10 grave diggers each side.
Okay.
Then I go 10 overhead press.
Okay. And they're working what, the shoulders, the chest?
Yes, this is, you're balancing your whole core. So if you can see as you're pushing up,
okay,
you're trying to keep that tight.
Right,
you're pushing
you have
up,
to really work
you're
to keep it balanced.
working your shoulders,
okay,
but you're balancing your core as you're trying not to go backwards, trying not to push to the side.
Everything lined up. And I really feel it in the right arm, I really do. I guess I don't have to if I kind of balance it back to the left. I wouldn't feel it so much in the right, or maybe I still would.
Then that's the point. You kind of want to feel it through this side of your body.
Okay.
Because then you're going to switch.
Okay.
Same
Got it.
positioning.
Oh, that feels like relief.
And it's the same thing.
Okay. Make sure you're still breathing and balancing. Now, Sheldon, what is the name of your fitness company?
The name of my fitness company is KMK Core Concepts.
Oh, awesome.
A little long, but...
Is that your children's acronyms?
Yes, it is.
I figured that. All parents do it.
Well, the big thing for me is I believe in foundation, all right? And core, center of your body, center of everything is the core. And for me, my children are my core.
Okay, I like that. Give me a high five. I like that.
So I was like, when I come up with a name, I'm like, that's what I center my life around is my children, trying to make them productive adults. So.
And you have some really good strategies with your technology use and just some really good training. We'll talk about that in your interview.
Oh, okay. So the next we have, I always say, for your basics, curls.
Okay.
Same thing. You gotta remember, the further away you are from that.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of keep my midway.
And just like your regular curl.
Just like a curl. And I'm coming down to the thigh all the way, or just to the waist? Okay, all the way down to the thigh.
I come all the way down to the thigh.
To the thigh, okay.
All the way up, keep it, and like always, that core.
Just between the chin and the chest, right?
Yes.
Okay. And again, like 10 to 15, maybe?
Yes.
Okay.
Squeezing.
So 10 is plenty.
10 is plenty.
Okay.
I'll go through this 3 or 4 times at 10 reps, depending on how much time I have.
Okay.
And that's what's important is, it's better to get a 20-minute productive workout in than no workout at all.
Exactly, absolutely. So you guys, hey, we're being introduced to the MACE equipment. There's also a fighting equipment that I can learn how to use instead of a gun by yours truly, Sheldon McGee, who believes in core training for his clients and core training for his children. All I know is that the Bible and the Proverbs says that we should train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he won't depart from it. And most of us think, oh, he won't leave the training. Well, the training won't leave him no matter where he goes.
All right, now we talked a little bit. You're fighting with the mace here. So I'll give you a couple. This is a lunge and jab.
Okay.
So whichever side you want to start with here, you lunge.
Oh, perfect. 300.
There
right?
you go.
I like that, Sheldon. I'm gonna get me one of these. You guys gonna buy one of these today? Maybe I'll just get me a shovel.
Remember,
Leonidas.
switch sides.
Okay. I'm not as strong on my left.
And that's where it starts to show your imbalances.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. I like it.
Now, I do this off my back.
Okay.
Chest presses, rows.
Okay.
If you do rows, you can do rows here. Same thing. Here I open hand on the end. Now this is the important thing, is parallel to the ground. So as I'm rowing, I'm almost pushing to keep it parallel.
Got it. Just to keep it balanced.
And remember,
Breathing.
go further, go away from that.
To get more work.
Harder it gets.
Yes. This is nice. Very nice piece of equipment. All right, so let's switch to the other side and do about 5 before we close. So we're balancing here, keeping it parallel, right? And we're just gonna go up and down. And we're breathing. Perfect.
And there's one advanced move. I always say, looks great, but it is a little intimidating, but it is very advanced. And that is the swing, right hand, right shoulder.
Oh. Well, you know what, you guys? We're gonna let the experts keep doing that. So I hope you guys check this out. Again, you can use a bat with this donuts on the top. You can go to the store and buy you one of these. I think I'll stick with a shovel for right now. But you guys have been hearing from Sheldon McGee. We're getting ready to hear more from him in his interview as we sit down and talk. You guys go get some water, take a break, and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Did you guys change? Did you enjoy working with those mace instruments? I was like 300, like, yeah. So now that you've calmed down, you have your water, we're gonna sit and talk with our guest today, Sheldon McGee. He is awesome, awesome, awesome. And he's gonna tell you a little bit more about who he is and why he's on the move with JoAnna Ward. Thank you, Sheldon. You clean up awesomely. Look at you.
Oh, thank you.
I guess we can't always be gym rats, right?
That's right.
We have to go from gym rat to guest on a show, right?
Yeah, my kids wonder why I was dressed up so much. So they're
Oh,
like,
they didn't know.
You going somewhere fancy? I said no. But
And so your fitness, let's start there. You take this very serious, very important part of what you do.
yes, very serious. I've played sports all my life. I've always loved working out. Even from the time I was a young kid, I used to go to 24-hour fitness and any place that was open. Just in middle of the night just to get a workout in. Played football, rugby, all the way through high school and college and things like that. And I just had a passion. I love doing it, and I love doing anything that's physically taxing. rode motorcycles, fought MMA.
How was that?
I would have to say, the problem is it sounds sad, but I think I enjoyed being punched in the face a little bit every now and again. I mean, sometimes it takes its toll, but every now and again you're like, oh, it's an awakener.
It's Conor McGregor. He's into the MMA. Is it MMA? Or I know it's like UFC, MMA.
MMA is UFC, so yeah, it's that.
Yeah, so it's like really serious hand-to-hand combat, which is why we had the maces, so we can
fun
kind of learn how to punch stuff.
Fun stuff.
Yeah,
so.
It can eventually help you at some point, right?
Yeah, I mean, in my career, I was in. I worked for the federal government for 22 years, and so, of course, physical fitness has to play an important role in what I did. I was overseas a lot, and so plus MMA comes in handy in that aspect, too.
Okay.
But, I mean, like I said, I think physical fitness has probably been there my whole life, no matter what I've done for a career or for a hobby. It all requires some type of physical fitness.
And could you tell our audience, tell our viewers, why? Like, what was so important in that than just reading casually or watching movies? Like, why did you value fitness so much?
I love pushing myself, and that's the big thing for me. Is I always feel that I need to push myself, and I need to do something. I have that motivation. I always feel that everybody has some inner drive, and like for me, that inner drive is to be an explorer and to push myself and kind of strive to be better no matter what I do. The one thing I always kind of told myself, and I came to grips with it, is I was never great at anything, and I realized why is because I was good at everything. I love doing too much, so I let it go as that. It's like, I don't mind being good at everything, and I don't have to have greatness. I just have to enjoy myself, and I have children, so I'm to be a big example to them. So that's one of the reasons I go for that way.
Awesome. And I believe the author is John Collins, who has a book called From Good to Great. It just came out this year, and it says in part of the book he says that good is the enemy of great. And so, but you have children now.
Yes, I do.
And you've been married for?
Just over 20 years.
Just over 20 years?
Yes.
And it's gotten better with time.
Yes, it definitely has. I mean, I think of course, when you first meet and you have that instant attraction and love and everything, but like anything, and I think that's the big thing people need to know, is it's work. And we go through our ups and downs and highs and lows, as long as we're working at it, and me and my wife have always told ourselves, every day we may not be in love with each other, we may not like each other, whatever, but we know there's going to be another day. So we know that the following day we could be back in love completely, and everything that happened prior to that is water under the bridge.
Just water under the bridge.
Yeah, and it actually brings us together. The fact that we can not always like each other, but we know that even though we're mad at each other or have a problem, we know that deep down the other person loves me, and I love her.
And you're committed.
Yes.
You're committed to.
No one's going anywhere.
To the marriage.
Yes.
Which is what you're in. And I heard an older man tell me one time. He said, "JoAnna, your cheek and your tongues bite each other all the time, and your teeth, but none of it ever falls out your mouth." So you don't fall out of each other. And so when you love a person, and you're in a relationship with a person, even children or loved ones or whomever, you get over it and you keep working together.
Well, that's part of the unconditional love as well. I think once you decide to love someone and you make that commitment to them, it's not easy. You don't have to like everything. You don't have to be there for everything. You don't have to, but you do have to realize that you've made a commitment, like with anything, and you either stick with it and follow through or go your own way, which to me is not even an option. It's I committed to something, I stick through it no matter what.
So do you think that people who decide, oh, it's just too much, whatever that much is, it could be anything. Sometimes it's major, sometimes it's minor. They kind of have this, well, what about me type mentality, what about me, and I'm not getting what I need, or however that works.
I think every situation is different, so I mean, I can't speak for everybody.
Right.
I just know for myself, when I'm the most selfish is when I have that, like, I'm not getting everything I need. And the funny thing is sometimes I think about it, and I think about what I'm not getting, but then I have to actually think about what I'm not giving. too, because I realize that when I feel like I'm not getting stuff, I hold back. And, you know, and I realize, I kind of go with the adage that if I just kind of bite my tongue and give, it just comes back around anyway. So somebody has to be the bigger person, you know, the person that just goes with the flow and like, okay, we're not great, but I'll be the big person and I'll just continually push through this, knowing that it'll come back around and you each take turns in that role.
Right. And I personally believe, because I believe in the foundation of the Bible. The Bible as it's written and it's documented, I believe that the man is in fact the head. And so I tell people, or sometimes husbands and wives, I say, head, did you wash your face this morning? Or was that your hands?
That's right.
When you need a pillow to lay down on, and you take yourself to that pillow. And so I do believe that the man is the head, and I do believe that where he is where the body follows, or the wife and the children and the house, and the leadership has to be sober. The leadership has to be full of love and wisdom and selfishness and selflessness, so that if you do say, you know, what am I not giving, then I'm not, that is so much sobriety. Because you understand that if my head is in the shower, my body's in the shower. If my head is in the freezer, my body's in the freezer. So if I'm in the freezer, it's because I'm in the freezer. It's not that she's in the freezer and I'm in the couch. We're there together. We're union. We're bone to bone, we're flesh to flesh. And I think that sometimes people separate that. You have a very unique strategy that came from obviously a deep understanding that was developed in the last 20 plus years of your relationship that I fell in love with when you first shared it with me. I fell in love with it so much that I invited you onto my show to talk. I mean, there are many things about you that I really appreciated and admired: your humility, your level of depth, and just owning who you are, where you are, what it is that you're going, that, you know, you still have to have so much going on. You're just cool with being Sheldon McGee, and it's just a really beautiful thing to see. But I really, really, really brought you here to share with our audience, for the men and the women, the strategy that you said that you use that just keeps a happy wife and happy life for you. So I'm going to go ahead and let you share that with us right now.
Well, we have what we call the 10-minute rule. And so what happens, my wife gets 10 minutes of undivided attention. And by undivided attention, I don't comment, I don't try and fix anything, I don't judge anything. She gets 10 minutes, she tells me, she's like, I want my 10 minutes. I sit down, and she gets to say whatever she wants to say. She gets to rant for the time. She tells me everything that's going on with her life, with the kids' lives, and everything. And I just listen and just pay attention. And most of the time, it's just an opportunity for her to get things off her chest, to not only inform me about everything going on with the family, but the struggle she's having on a daily basis. And like I say, you know, doesn't matter, she'll come to me, and if I'm doing something or watching TV, and she's like, can I get my 10 minutes? I turn everything off, and I sit there. And
everything off, and you're like this?
Yeah.
You're not like on your phone, and, oh yeah, I hear you. Your undivided attention is directed
undivided. I just, you know.
And it's not to give anything other than just your attention.
Just my attention. And
she needs that.
Definitely. I think without a doubt, one thing I have learned through my marriage is, you know, when you're younger, you try and, let me tell you how to fix that. Let me tell you how to do this. And then I learned that she's not telling me these things to be fixed. She's telling me these things because she just has to have someone to confide in.
Right.
And because we are the ultimate partnership, this is your partnership, and she tells me, we talk about this all the time, what you tell your friends, your girlfriends, your best friends and stuff like that is one thing, but what you confide in your spouse should be everything. And so she tells me that, like, even she doesn't tell them everything, she tells me everything because she knows that I listen, I absorb it, and now I learn not to fix it or try to do anything about it, and I go with that, and I let her have her time. And I think that's important, because in a family, everybody, you know, of my kids, they all get time, but as a mother, she's running around, and I'm like, she needs not her time to vent, but her time alone with me, where she feels me as her husband, that I'm listening to just her.
Right.
Because you've got so much with the family environment and outside commitments, and we have the church commitments and things like that, that she needs to feel that she's special. So those 10 minutes, let her do whatever she wants, and she knows that it is longer than 10 minutes most of the time, but we always call it the 10 minutes. But she knows that she feels my total attention during that time. And she knows that she's special, and we have a bond, and I let her do her thing.
And it's not nagging. It's not burdensome to you because you've already decided in your heart and your mind that you're going to settle down and do that. Like, you're not like, oh, here I go again. It's like, this is just part of my role as a husband to accommodate my wife in this way that she needs. Because some guys are, oh, you're doing nagging, I don't want to hear it or whatever. But you've kind of already decided it's a fixture in your relationship, and it works for her and for you. And you're willing to do that because it works.
Yeah, and I feel that, for her, she needs, if that's something she needs, then it's my responsibility basically as her husband and as the father to let her have that. And I always feel like you can't give everything, but to me, giving 10 minutes is really not that much.
It's really not that much. It's really not that much. Well, thank you so much for coming out and sharing with me.
Oh, thank you.
It's always my pleasure to talk to you and have you come out and visit with us, show us some awesome exercises. Well, you guys heard it. You saw it. I hope you go out and buy a mace. If you don't get a mace, remember you can use a shovel, like Sheldon showed us. But husbands, love your wives. Even as Christ loves the church, he's willing to give his life for it. And remember that he who finds a wife, not just a woman, finds a good thing and obtains the favor of the Lord. You don't have to wonder here and there and everywhere. Read Proverbs 31. It talks about the type of woman that makes a wonderful wife. And we all know, happy wife, happy life. Make sure that you provide fitness in your family, in your finances, and ask God, acknowledge him, trust in him with all your heart, and lean not to your understanding. Acknowledge him in all your ways, and he will direct your path. You've been on the move with me and my guest, Sheldon McGee. We'll see you guys on next time. And until then, keep moving.